Hello and welcome everybody to All the Rage Sports Podcasts. Here with me, as always, is my lovely panel of analysts. I got Kevin Robinson, Jace Junk, and Andy Stewart. Thank you all for joining me today. We actually have everybody again. It's really great to have everyone all together. I'm in a new location. I just moved, so we're on really late, and I had to set everything back up. So I hope it looks good because I actually have really, really good internet now, so it might be crisper, which may not be a good thing for me.
I cannot see you at the moment.
I don't know that a crispy Jesse is what we want.
I would rather be watching the President's Cup.
I am.
We would rather you were watching the President's Cup too.
Okay.
Just to be honest.
I would not disagree with that.
I made
Sorry,
$1.67
blow this off.
for showing up.
All donated by Brian Baden.
That's in coupons though. It's coupons.
Yeah,
Thanks, Dad.
it's just coops, babe. It's just coops.
They're expired.
Sometimes they'll still accept it if you know somebody.
As long as it's Cookie Crisp.
For
I don't give a
Chi-Chi's.
shit. Chi-Chi's all right.
Expired Chi-Chi's coupons.
So
Come back
today
when they have
we're
the salmonella tomatoes.
salmonella tomatoes. Yum, yum. So today we're going to touch on a little bit of the Patriots' decline. There was this thing a meme that's been floating around of like angry Tom Brady, and it just says, when you realize you're 0-3 against good teams. Then we're going to definitely have to talk about Sunday night's matchup against the Steelers and Bills. It has a ton of playoff implications to it. So winner of that one is going to be set. The loser of that one's going to have an uphill battle. And that will lead us into our next one, talking about the Titans and their possibility that they are going to make the playoffs with their late resurgence this season with Tannehill at the helm and not Mr. Mariota that Dandy has such a big dick for. We'll talk about probably the best game of the year between the Saints and 49ers. And then if we have some time, we may talk about some of the future that this offseason holds with some coaching or QB changes that we can see happening. Obviously, we'll do our power rankings for you, send out our picks. But that's all coming at you on All the Rage Sports. So, guys, let's look at last week. We all performed what I would like to call mediocre.
That was the most mediocre.
You were
That's
most
this podcast.
mediocre.
That's the best word to describe this podcast.
Just mediocre.
Middle
Good now.
middle of the road kind of
Yeah, like
podcast.
if you're bored, go ahead and listen, but don't go out of your way. So it looks like we'll start with the Bears game. Bears ended up winning that one. Go away, pop-up ads. So the Bears won in Week 14. The Bears actually are surprisingly one of the better teams, are starting to like work their way up in the NFC. They could, in theory, end 10-6 right now. But they beat the Cowboys 31-24. Panthers got shellacked by the weirdly resurgent Falcons all of a sudden, beating them 40-20. Ravens ended up beating the Bills, even though the Bills had a nice late drive. Marlon Humphreys knocked away a ball that pretty much sealed the game, turnover. So Ravens won that. Browns ended up beating the Bengals 27-19. Packers beat the Redskins, although not by much, only by 5 points, but they still did win. Broncos came out of nowhere and beat the Texans right after the Texans last week beat the Patriots. So if there's any team in this NFL you can call bipolar, it's probably the Texans. Vikings ended up winning against the Lions, moving to 9-4. Niners and Saints had probably the best game of the year. Niners winning on a last-second field goal to win 48-46, which was just insane. Jets also another last-second field goal game. Ended up beating the Dolphins, 22-21. Bucks and Colts in a shootout. Bucks won that 38-35. Chargers just shellacked the Jaguars. Poor Minshew.
Minshew had a good game, actually.
Let's start.
Their offensive line was terrible.
Oh yeah, let's hear about. They lost 45-10, but Minshew had a really good game.
Colt McCoy.
Steelers with a punt return, and there he is, the Duck, leading them to victory. Now 8-5 with an undrafted third-string quarterback. Thank you, Kevin. And
Thank you, Marshall, for letting me borrow that.
If it weren't
Chiefs
for the fact that
move.
Devlin Hodges let me beat the 1 seed in our fantasy league this week, I would not allow that.
You see this, Jace?
I
You see this,
can't
Jace? It's a duck with a gold jacket.
I'm not going to look up. I'm not going to look up.
I'm just going to hold it for the rest of the podcast until you look up.
For fuck's sake,
Oh,
Kevin.
like you
Minshew
could
was
hold your
24 for
arm up like
37
that
with 162
for the entire
to beat.
podcast.
Bet.
Your arm would fall asleep.
Bet.
Chiefs ended up beating the Patriots 23-16, which was just heartwarming for all of us. Even you as a Raiders fan, you probably enjoyed that a little bit.
Tuck rule.
Yes, exactly. I work with a couple of Patriots fans, and they were all crying about their bad calls, and they're going around. I'm like, oh, boo-hoo. I had to watch Tom Brady break my heart at the age of 6 in 2001. So you know what? You guys can get one bad one against you. Fuck.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, Jesse, also
Pull a
one thing we will be
Justin
sneaking
Timberlake and
in
Cry Me a River.
before the end of the show, the one thing we will be sneaking in is Jace has a little bit of a rant that he would like to go on.
Uh-oh. I can't wait to hear this. Uncle Bill is going to love that. So Titans ended up beating the Raiders. Raiders are pretty well out of it at this point.
1%
Seahawks.
chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Insert the Dumb and Dumber gif here.
Yeah. Seahawks lost to the Rams, which always seems to that's the one team that always seems to fuck them up. But they lost to the Rams 28-12, and the Giants lost in overtime to the Eagles 23-17.
Which makes me sad.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping Eli would get another little victory at the end.
Well,
I
it should make
somebody
everybody
who
sad
said-
that it took the Eagles overtime to win that fucking game. And they are
I mean,
now
that's-
tied for a division.
And I preached about their Eli Manning revenge tour. I went to bed and I'm like, they got this. It was halfway through the third. I think it was 17-3, something like that. And I'm like, I'm going to bed. It's fine. Woke up and they had lost the game in Giants fashion.
Well, it's because in Pat Shermer's infinite wisdom, he switched them over to the prevent offense and prevented themselves from winning a fucking football game.
You mean
the
the man
prevent
the New York
offense.
Giants hired with a 2-time winning Super Bowl quarterback and Saquon Barkley in the backfield, he went to a prevent offense, Kevin?
Yes, it was a prevent offense.
Prevented
maybe
himself
the fact that
from
Pat
what?
Shermer is a fucking idiot.
Yes.
Oh, that's probably a pretty solid point there. Yes, he is. So like I said, I went 7-8. Jace rocking up nice 6-9 record for the week.
Nice.
Kevin won the week with a 9-6 record, and Andy with an 8-8, gaining one win on me. Which
I'm the
now
yin to
means
Jace's yang.
Andy and myself are at 124.
All square through
Yes.
14.
That's right. It's just like me and Jace on the golf course, leading into hole 17, tied.
Hey,
And
I have a
that's
scorecard actually. Hold up, real
Was
quick. I have it on my-
that's the only time that's ever happened?
yeah, I parred the next hole, or no, I was up by one. We went into 18 tied. Yeah, he
No,
birdied. I was up
Yeah,
by one.
yeah.
You birdied 17, and I parred it with a weird chip off the fringe.
You putted.
Oh yeah, I Texas wedged that thing in, and then we went to 18, and I parred and he birdied. He birdied 2 holes in a row to beat me.
I know I Snapchatted you that scorecard because I found it. It was like in a random crevice in my car,
Is it-
and I pulled it out and looked at it, and I laughed my fucking head.
Kevin is 3 wins back at 121, and Jace is a whopping 9 wins back at 115. So these next 3 weeks are going to be a big friggin' deal. All right, so let's just start in on the Pats' decline. I have a hard time talking about this because it seems like every single year this happens. The Patriots have a slip. They lose to the Dolphins, and then they lose to some teams that are like not good or losing records and just kind of fall on their face a little bit. Now, normally, it's not in December. That's the only thing that if I were concerned, that's what I would be concerned about. Normally, Belichick has things together by December. They do have a lot of injuries. They've lost a lot of star
Receivers.
power over the offseason and receivers. But Tom Brady has never really been like this crazy, we can put million of points up on you kind of offense since Randy Moss left. So what's your take on this Patriots? Is it just smoke blown up our asses, or is it real deal? Like this may be the year that we finally see them fall on their face and Tom Brady retire or break his streak, or one of the three.
I'm pretty sure this is it for Tommy. I think I think this is for real. They are starting to decline. Tom Brady is not as sharp as Tom Brady was. And Julian Edelman isn't doing what he used to be. How is this a bias button situation, sir? Go ahead and explain yourself.
You want to see Tom Brady die.
You want to see Tom Brady die too? Don't fucking lie to me.
I had to watch Tom Brady's birth as I just said a minute ago.
Truth. You want him to die just as much as everyone else.
Real quick,
but
let me just interject real fast. Ever since, like Jesse referenced, the post-Moss years, you can go back. There's tweets, there's Facebook posts, there's interviews, there's all this shit about Brady's dead. The Patriots dynasty is done. Until literally the day Tom Brady hangs his cleats up, you cannot count them out because every single time we have gone, they're dead, they're done. They have come back and they either go to the conference game or they go to the fucking Super Bowl and either win it or lose. So, as the Steelers are proving right now with a decent defense, you can do anything at quarterback. And even though Brady's not playing that well, that defense is carrying his ass. But it's going to be a matter of, is he going to wake up or are they going to have to carry him the whole way?
Okay. Yeah. Well, now that you're done explaining yourself, I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Please do.
I'm going to unbuckle my pants for this.
You should, because it's going to be worth it. Those previous years where they had these falters and everybody's, Tom Brady's falling off, and then they come back and
Thank you, Andy. I'm glad you saw that.
What the fuck?
Is because when they lost those games, it was against, like you said, the Dolphins or somebody shitty. They're not losing games to the Dolphins. They're losing games against like competition that they're going to have to be able to beat in the playoffs and aren't showing the capability of doing so right now. The oh so good defense is, they're okay to a point. But I mean, they did hold Patrick Mahomes down a little bit, but Patrick Mahomes really hasn't been fully the Patrick Mahomes we saw the last year. I don't think they'll be able to, I don't think they're going to be able to slow Lamar down because I don't think the Patriots can score enough to beat them.
Keep up. Yeah.
Because it'll be like the 49ers and actually the Patriots the first time. It'll be a shootout, and or it could be low scoring with Patriots Ravens, but the Ravens have enough on offense to win it, and the Patriots just don't right now. The last play of the game told me all I needed to know. Brady is still Brady, but he doesn't have enough of a supporting cast. Edelman in previous years would have had the separation to get to that ball. That ball was where it was supposed to be. Edelman didn't get the ball.
Don't make the supporting cast argument for him, for God's sake. He had lawyers and fucking like guys that are probably selling real estate.
He had
now
law
that he was throwing
firms.
touchdown passes to. Yeah, Ben Jarvis, green ounces.
He had. He didn't have lawyers. He had an entire law firm.
That's true.
But I just
Lawyer
thank you
Malloy.
for picking up on that. That's why
I just don't think this supporting cast is up to the task as they have been. Is up to the task as they have been in years
agree with you
before.
on one thing real quick. The running game, even though they have James White and Sony Michel and any other offense, I think would be a competent NFL running back for some reason. I think it's that they've had a lot of injuries along the offensive line, but
their offensive line is just.
And that's going to be another point of contention against them being able to do anything in the playoffs is because they're going to be going against better defenses who will get pressure on Brady. And as you know, you spoke about Eli Manning and the revenge tour. What we learned from Eli Manning's teams back then was when you put pressure in his face like they did with that NASCAR package, that's how you beat Tom Brady. That's how he's lost those games against the Dolphins because when you put pressure in Tom Brady's face, he crumbles. For as much as everybody talks about how he is the GOAT, you put you get consistent pressure and he falls.
Charles Woodson blitzes him, he fumbles, but they just don't call it. So,
oh God,
why do you gotta abuse yourself?
Yeah. Why do you keep bringing up these harsh memories from the past?
Because they just ring in my head all the time.
Franco caught that ball.
You sure did.
No, he didn't. They never show that camera angle. It's always cut off. It hit the turf. That's why that piece of turf is in the Hall of Fame. Because it supported the greatest catch of all time. They don't even show above his cleats, okay? Like it's like his shins, and that's it.
There was no completing the catch rule back then. You could catch it off the ground.
Furthermore, that ball hit Frenchie Fuqua first, so it was off an offensive player, so it wasn't allowed to be advanced. But whatever.
It wasn't it wasn't a fumble.
Franco and Jesse James caught that ball.
Now it can't hit an offensive player and then be
Jesse James caught that ball.
And the ball
that's you're thinking of the fumble rule. You can't advance.
Fumble risky.
Mr. Holy Roller. If it hits off of somebody and somebody catches it, they absolutely can run for it.
No.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where. Then explain it when it hits off an offensive lineman's head and then helmet, and then somebody catches it, and they run for it. It's happened. It is a thing.
It's a deflection. If that was the role and a wide receiver, they throw it down the field, the wide receiver tips it up and another wide receiver catches it, he can run it for a touchdown.
As we referenced it the one day, but here's my problem with it is that play happened, and then everybody made a big deal when the Holy Roller happened, and then all of a sudden when the Raiders do it, there's a rule that happens after that. When you guys did it because it hit an offensive player first, and it doesn't matter because Franco didn't catch it anyhow.
He caught
That's why that sacred piece of turf from Three Rivers Stadium that one of these days I will
Franco and Jesse James.
I will burn that shit. I will fucking light it on fire. It's fraudulent. Why are we talking about the Immaculate?
Fraudulent. Anyway, back to the Patriots, for Christ's sake.
To the Franco.
Sorry, you got me on a rant.
Go ahead, back. Go ahead. Back.
Hit a nerve.
We need Jeff Junk to come in and do the Franco.
Let me call him.
So, Andy, what is your take on the Patriots?
Franco caught that ball was how you called Jeff Junk.
Because I'm not gonna lie, both of you make very valid points.
I hear
what do you think in this, Andy?
I'm actually in between both of them. I think it could be the last hurrah. You know what I mean? But I don't think Brady's gonna go down at a low point in his career. You know what I mean? He's gonna at least try to do. He'll play one more. If they get their asses handed to him the rest of the year, he's gonna have to play next year just so he can
see.
I don't know.
I disagree with you on. I disagree with you on that. I know that he wants to go out on a high note, and if he wanted to go out on a high note, he would have gone out last year with Gronk. But he just is an asshole and wants to play and own every record and own every Super Bowl there ever was because he's a fucking dickwad. Now,
I think he's waiting on Belichick.
In reality, Tom Brady is a very nice individual and a good human.
And he mouth kisses
Being
his fucking
in general.
he mouth
But he's a fucking asshole. And
yeah,
fuck Tom Brady.
That bitch. So
fucking.
I'm not even going to say it again, but you can't even bring up the Tom Brady's an asshole thing. I had to watch that motherfucker drop a ball in Foxborough and then Adam Vinatieri kick that field goal. And I should probably be in therapy for just solely because of that.
And then
game.
you had to watch him mouth kiss his dad
Jamarcus
on the
Russell, and then my parents got divorced.
Jamarcus Russell and Bill Callahan, and then my parents got divorced, and nothing's ever been the same since.
Yeah.
But like, to both of your points, I agree with Kevin, and that was kind of what I was meaning by like, it's December. They don't normally lose in December. Normally, this is when they go on their hot streak. Even those years when we doubted them and said, "Oh, the dynasty's over," they still did that. They're not doing that this year. To Kevin's point, they are not losing to bad teams; they're losing to good teams, which I don't know if you can say that's a fault. But it is different than what they're normally used to. Usually they would go into those bad team games and experiment with shit and then lose. Because they go in and be like, oh, we're going to try this, we're going to try that. Okay, those don't work, so we're going to not use those in the playoffs.
We're going to try videotaping your game beforehand.
And that's another thing we'll might touch on here in a moment. But I think out of all the years where we've talked about the Patriots' decline, this one is the most likely year that they actually are declining. I agree with Jace where it's still going to be fucking Tom Brady. He's still the GOAT. He's still going to fucking do something in the playoffs. But I also don't agree that he's going to come back another year if he loses in the playoffs. I think that he's going to – I mean, good quarterbacks – stay until they are not welcome anymore. And I'm not saying that Tom Brady's not welcome anymore, but Kevin, I think you posted that in that big meme run where Tannehill has better, or Trubisky has better stats than Tom Brady right now.
Yeah, that was going into last week, and Trubisky's stats only got better.
Yeah. So, and I get it, and everybody's going to blame Tom, but they're not thinking about the fact that they've gone through different receivers, and they lost Gronk, and their offensive
line's trash.
Their center, their tackles. Isaiah Wynn has been in and out.
Isaiah Wynn, yeah.
So, like, I get it. I understand it. They're not immune to everything. But I think that if they would have just, sailed that ship with Antonio Brown, they might be in a different position right now.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, they might be like 6-7 or something.
Yeah.
I just cannot wait till a day when I don't have to hear about Tom Brady. And I get that all of our, like, the Steelers quarterback might have 2 more years out of him that's productive, Mr. Big Ben. And I'm hoping that those 2 years are a Tom Brady-less NFL. Because fuck him.
And also a Lamar Jackson-less NFL. He needs to, break his leg here sometime.
Well, he's got a quad injury right now, so he may not start tomorrow. We're not sure. But he said he's playing.
Yeah, he says he's playing, and I think he will. I think he'll play the first half, and they'll be so far up on the Jets that RG3 will get a lot of playing time in the second
Trace
half.
McSorley is getting playing time.
Jason's so interested in the podcast right now.
So, okay, let's move on to the Sunday night matchup. The Steelers and the Bills. Now, 2 weeks ago when it got flexed to the Sunday night, people were like, oh, these teams might be the wild card matchup. The Bills losing has really put a different dynamic on this game. If the Steelers win this, the Bills and Steelers will be tied, therefore giving Steelers the tiebreaker, moving them into the 5th seed.
The division.
And that will make them play either the Texans or the Titans. If the Bills win, they are still in a chance if the Patriots lose out to take the division, but they'll be no more than the 5th seed. I guess the Steelers will be put into a position where the Titans may catch them, and the Steelers may be out of the playoffs. So, that being said, who needs to win this game more? Who has more riding on this game?
I think Bills are winning in. They're guaranteed in if they win.
Right.
So
yeah. The Steelers, I think, need this more. They still have a backdoor avenue to get in. Like I said, if they were to beat they got the Jets and the Ravens left after that. The Ravens, like I said, I see the Ravens winning their next 2 games and probably sitting Lamar Jackson for the last one of most of their starters.
Yeah,
so the Steelers have a good chance of still making it to 10-6,
right?
Which is going to be real close to getting in. But I think the Bills, they really want this because of the chance they have to be able to knock off the Patriots and move into that first place in the AFC East. And
they still play the Patriots again,
seed.
Do they not?
Yes, this is next week.
Yeah, after this game.
So if they were to win each week, Patriots lose to them. Let's see here. Let me make sure I'm saying this.
Is that in Gillette? Or did they already play there?
It's in Foxborough. Yeah.
It's a tough game either way. Well, unless the crowd's booing.
I mean, they already lost in Foxborough this year, so
I don't think I can remember a time where the Patriots fans were booing the Patriots.
Well, this just shows you how fucking spoiled they are. The Boston fan base is one of the most ridiculous.
Horrible. Fucking
horrible. Here's the only thing though. I don't know. Even if the Patriots win every game except for the one with the Bills, I don't think that they can take it over unless the Patriots lose to someone else also. If I'm not mistaken, the Patriots they both have the same conference record. Non-conference, the Bills only are 3-1. If the Bills win the 2 divisional games the rest of the year and beat the Patriots, then they would be even in the division. And I'm not sure what the third tiebreaker is. Is it non-conference? Because they'd be even on conference games too.
Yeah, I think they'll go to non-conference.
Total points scored.
It would, yeah, right. It would probably still give the Patriots the edge, even if they were tied and the Buffalo Bills beat them next week. So they need a little bit of help, but if they win out, they kind of hold their own destiny and can dethrone the 16-time division-winning Patriots.
I think the last time they lost was to the Jets when Sanchez was fucking there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that the year?
I don't know that the Jets
broke his leg.
Yeah, no, and Brady broke his leg and Castle was starting.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Castle was starting. Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Tom Brady with a broken leg would have been better than Matt Castle.
Well,
but
Chase, you're the stat guy. Stop watching golf and look up the stat. Jeez.
Who's winning, by the way? Is it bad?
Not us.
Okay, that's all you have to say. I lost my phone,
it's going to be a heavy contested game, and that's why it got sent over to Sunday night, because this game means a lot to both teams. I personally think go ahead, Jace. I personally think the Steelers can pull it out. I think that even without, I think the Steelers have the edge on defense, but I think the Bills have the edge on offense.
But Josh Allen has shown a propensity for losing the football through interceptions or fumbles.
And that is exactly, the Bills, as my betting streak goes, I'm really thinking about the Bills because they are an underdog in Heinz Field this weekend. But as much as I've started, if Josh Allen could just stop, if he could mature a little bit and hold on to the football a little bit more, he could be really fucking great.
Yeah,
If they get an early
That's
turnover,
why I said he was going to make the Pro Bowl.
If the Steelers get an early turnover off of Allen in Heinz Field,
not now.
That's game. That's
the
ball game.
Momentum will just start going nuts.
When you get that Heinz Field rocking with the defense getting turnovers, it'll be ball game.
But he is the one player. He is the one guy. He can throw a deep ball, which, as we've seen, deep against the wind, he doesn't do well against. But I don't know how well you guys will do against him running the ball. And the Bills running back room, boo, Andy.
Well, and that's I mean, they shut down Kyler Murray running the football last week. I think he's a little bit more dynamic running the football than Josh Allen is.
Yeah, but Kyler
Duck
Murray,
Hodges had more rushing yards than Kyler Murray did.
Kyler Murray and who? Like, and that's what I'm saying. You guys have a really good defense, and that's why I want to bet the Bills in this game, but I'm not leaning towards it because I think you guys are going to win it. But
if you're doing like a cheap ass parlay, I'd go for it. But if you're doing something where you really want to get the big money out of it, I might not.
What I will say is, I think if there's a bet on the over/under on Josh Allen passing yards, I would take the over. I think you guys will take away the run. I think he'll pick apart the middle of that defense.
Wow.
Depends what kind of defense they're playing. If they go to that fucking zone shit, they've been not good.
What I'm saying is, not to discuss. I don't want to discuss the Steelers game at length, but your guys is the middle of your defense is a little bit suspect with your linebackers right now.
Because we have a rookie starting one, though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I got at. But it's a matter of which Josh Allen is going to show up? Is he going to be smart enough to make those throws, or is he going to be tuck it and take off and fumble the fucking ball and go all over the fucking place?
Very true.
Well, I mean, all I've got to say, going into this game, I think the difference maker is going to be
now.
Juju is expected to play. That was kind of handed down, so that's something that could be another level of dynamic that the offense hasn't seen. Although Deontay Johnson and James Washington have stepped up over the last few weeks, having Juju in there does make that offense better.
Connor's supposed to play as well.
Yeah.
That I
put Deontay in the slot.
Yeah, that I'm not sure that I want, but whatever. I'd rather, at this point, I honestly want Benny Snell to run the rock.
Yeah, I don't know who I'd want to sit. I'd actually kind of maybe lean towards Jalen Samuels.
Trey Edmonds.
Because Kareth White is a good change of pace.
Tarek White is a good change of pace back.
Trey Edmonds, but we're doing a lot of the fullback shit.
Mm-hmm. And keep Edmonds. Get rid of who's number 40? Who's the other guy?
No,
Kareth White.
That's the White.
But that's the change of pace guy. They brought him in and he breaks off big ones because they just spread it out and he's fast.
Connor, you got Samuels, and I'd take Edmonds. Would be the ones I'd take.
Benny Snell
Benny Snell.
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
Got to have the spinner rim mouthpiece going in the game.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've
moving
all
on to the
consensus there. That's the next team is the Titans. Now we've seen, and I just saw the stat here a moment ago. The Titans are 6-1 since Tannehill took over. So Tannehill took over at 2-4. And has now made this team 8-5, and possibly currently tied for the division. If it wasn't for a 2-2 divisional record, they would be in first. The Titans can still take this division and move into the 4 seed.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's crazy to me that we were talking about it the other day that the Bills are in that position. Now, even though they lost, they are still in that position because of Patriots losing. But now, like, the AFC is becoming a lot more interesting. With that dynamic that I honestly could say I didn't see coming, because I also didn't see that Tannehill would be starting that quickly. I thought that they were going to ride Mariota out, and if the season went downhill, they were going to bail on Mariota at the end of the season kind of thing.
And before we start on this segment, I would like to say any Andy Stewart, I told you so's in this or moot, because he was fucking dick riding Marcus Mariota through the entire damn thing, and now we have seen the entire Ryan Tannehill career resurgence.
I can't wait for Andy's number 8 Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey for next year.
That would be just insane to see Mariota take over for Winston. That's just weird.
Well, he doesn't throw a lot of
Mariota
interceptions, so it'd be an improvement in that sense. But the biggest thing for the Titans so far, one, yes, they do have a shot, and the reason they have a shot is because they get 2 head-to-heads coming up in the next 3 weeks with the Texans. They literally hold their own destiny or hold their destiny in their own hands here. They can make or break their own season. And the guy who's made the biggest difference, as you said, Ryan Tannehill coming in. I heard the stat earlier this week. In the last 3 games, Ryan Tannehill's QBR is 137.5 with a 75% completion percentage. The only other person to have that stat the last person to have that stat was Aaron Rodgers in 2011 during an MVP campaign. And that's how ridiculous Tannehill's been playing right now. Yeah, they need to pay that man and hope he stays healthy, because that, like as I said multiple times before, that's been his biggest issue, is being able to stay healthy. Yeah. He's always shown an ability to throw the football.
All this really is a testament to how bad of a coach Adam Gase is.
It is. Yeah, exactly. And New York needs to get rid of him before he ruins Sam Darnold.
Oh, he's already. Well, I think Mono ruined Sam Darnold, but who knows? Maybe Adam Gase was trying to kiss him in the locker room. We don't know.
Kiss him on the mouth,
like Tom Brady's and his dad.
Tom Brady and his dad.
And Kelly Stafford's tits. I mean, what?
With that Wisconsin cheese on it.
Kevin's like Chris Farley and fucking Billy Madison. I kissed Kelly.
That Veronica Vaughn. What
a guy I know and her got it on. No, you didn't.
Well, Andy was the one who was, he was the one that brought up Kelly Stafford being hot.
I did, but you took it to a new level.
That's my job.
Okay,
that's what I'm here for.
That's what I do here.
You are a mechanic for a living.
I honestly think the Tennessee Titans, in my opinion, are the second best team in the AFC right now. They have a very good defense combined with an offense that is going absolutely bonkers right now,
and an offensive line.
The same recipe the Ravens have. The Chiefs have an offense that's doing the job and a defense that does the job against bad teams.
I'll tell you this: if they go to the playoff, which they are going to the playoffs, if they're an underdog against whatever team they play, I believe the problem with Ryan Tannehill was Adam Gase was asking too much of him in Miami, and that's why he wasn't productive. I think Vrabel has simplified this offensive playbook. I think that's why you're seeing a lot more feed Derrick Henry, get him 140 yards, and we're only going to ask you to throw the ball maybe 20, 30 times a game. But it's working. And if the Titans are an underdog in any playoff game until maybe like the conference game, I'm going to take them.
Yeah, and I hate to agree with Jace because it's it goes very, very far against our appeasing Uncle Bill. Principle. But the Titans right now, they're playing as a complete team, and every facet of the game is working in concert and performing well. In Miami, they didn't have a quarter of a team that worked as a cohesive unit and was able to actually perform. So that's I think the biggest difference for Tannehill is actually having competent teammates across the board.
That's exactly it. I mean, everybody's, like you said, everybody's on the same page. The offensive line is like fucking bolstered I mean, they're giving Tannehill all sorts of time.
Now,
Derrick
what was
Henry's
your
for 140 yards?
What was your confused/angry face you were making, Jesse, when you were about to make a point?
Wait, okay, you said the Titans are the second best team in the AFC. You have them ranked above the Patriots and the Chiefs?
Yeah. They already beat the Chiefs. They beat the Chiefs.
Not to
with
agree
Mahomes.
with Kevin. Not to agree with
The
Kevin,
Chiefs
but
beat the Patriots.
I'll tell you what, right now, if there was to be a Titans-Chiefs showdown in Arrowhead in the playoffs right now, I would take the Titans 100%.
I probably would too, to be honest.
Tom Brady couldn't score.
Way.
Tom Brady couldn't score more than 23 points against the Chiefs defense. How do you think he's going to perform against the Titans defense?
I would be almost enticed. I hate to really jump on this Titans bandwagon just because, like I said, Andy, you don't count at this point because you were loving Mariota, but they could threaten the Patriots. Like they could be the AFC champs at this point. I'm convinced.
If they keep playing like this, yes, they can.
I think, and that's the key word. If they continue to play, I can't see Jesse, but I'm sure he's looking so furious.
I'm busting the Vince Young jersey out, and away we go.
I think if they continue, if the defense plays as well as the offense has, and Derrick Henry gets healthy, and they continue to run the ball well, I think they're a threat.
It's insane to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys do make somewhat of good points, but it just still is insane to me that you would rank them above.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like,
two.
I mean, even like the receivers that they have like AJ Brown, that he looked like he was a dud there for a while. Didn't get the ball at all. Adam Humphries, they freaking paid that man leaving Tampa Bay. I mean, they don't exactly, but like Jonnu Smith, he was
he got a touchdown.
Round pick. Yeah, but I mean, they don't have like these superstar players anywhere. Well, I mean, as far as receiving goes, but Daniel's making it work.
Well, Jesse, I'll make a quick point here. I think all three of you right now have the Seahawks above the Saints in your top 15 power rankings. The Seahawks beat the Saints, or the Saints beat the Seahawks
with Teddy Bridgewater.
So, with Teddy Bridgewater.
Okay.
The Seahawks didn't lose to the like your guys' track record of who you think should be ranked above who. Sometimes not the greatest. The Saints have already beat that team.
The Seahawks are still a better team.
Yeah, for sure. You just hate Russell Wilson for some reason.
Yeah, you really are a hater.
No, I do not hate Russell Wilson. I was the first person on the Russell Wilson fucking bandwagon. Before his first season started, I was calling Russell Wilson better than Matt Flynn and that he should be the starter.
Matt Hasselbeck.
I remember that
I would love
picked.
to see those text messages and all those things that would prove you right. You just come on this podcast and go, "Well, I see."
Look at the rosters from fantasy football. Russell Wilson's first year, I picked him in our fantasy draft before he was named the starter.
I never once heard you say anything about Matt Flynn and Russell Wilson, for God's sake.
That's because you were never on Xbox.
Everybody knew Matt Flynn wasn't going to last.
Talking about
Back
that on
then
Xbox.
that was like 2012, 2013.
No, because we made you rage all the time, and you'd only be on for 45 minutes.
Well, no, that was at the end of the night. I quit.
Okay, so let's quickly jump on to what we experienced with the probably greatest game of the year so far. That Saints-Niners game had everything.
Not the greatest defensive game.
No, absolutely not. But absolutely one of the funnest games to watch. The only thing I could have said that would have been better is if fucking Alvin Kamara would have done something that was worth a damn. What the fuck's been up with him this year?
Well, he's been injured off and on, and then with Breeze being out of the offense for that period of time.
Mark Ingram isn't there to fucking pull the wool over everybody's eyes either. So,
yeah, Latavius Murray is not Mark Ingram.
Latavius better than Kamara at times.
Yeah, that's been ugly. The thing. They're not like Kamara and Ingram worked well together.
Yeah,
going against defenses, whereas Latavius Murray just works good by himself, and Kamara is not doing so well.
Yeah, he's not.
But
doing
he's.
well at
I
all.
mean, and that's the thing too. That's why you see Jared Cook catching the passes he's catching, and all these other guys getting their opportunities because people are keying on Mike Thomas and Alvin Kamara because those are the two guys you got to stop. But unfortunately, it doesn't work against Drew Brees because he'll just pass to somebody else.
I don't even know who all that. I mean, is Ted Ginn still playing?
Ted Skin.
Ted Skin.
Ted Skin. That's his porn star name.
Yeah.
There's I don't know,
Ted
some
Skin
Smith guy.
Senior.
He caught a big pass, and Jared Cook was the big target this past week.
Who I thought was going to be the most dynamic tight end in the league this year, but of course, no.
How about that year I
Brees injuries.
freaking drafted Kobe Fleener in the second round or something because I thought he was going to be this freaking mastermind with Drew Brees, and then
Well, the fact that you drafted a tight end in the second round.
It wasn't the second round, dickhead, but he was like
the fucking moron.
Fuck you. It was like he was like the third tight end taken off the board, dickhead.
No, fuck you. You don't pick a tight end that early.
It wasn't in the second round. It was like the fucking.
You said the
fifth
second round.
I know.
So you're a liar?
I fucked up. Yeah. Fuck you guys. I hate all of you.
All right, moving on.
On that note, 3 of these 4 analysts are still in the playoffs. So,
yeah, who isn't?
I had Alvin Kamara.
Fucking dickhead.
And Alvin Kamara. And then by the time I got around to a quarterback, there wasn't anything left.
Me and Andy
I know
have
he
a
doesn't listen to
rematch.
this podcast, but shout out Jordan Remble, you dumb shit.
Every year.
Every single year, he leads the league in the regular season, and then he's out. He's one and done.
It's not
every year.
Not him every year. It is no matter who the 1 seed is in our league, they will always lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I started Devlin Hodges this week in fantasy, and I beat the number 1 seed in our fantasy. He had Alshon Jeffrey going into Monday night. He didn't have a big game, and I think he got carted off with a foot injury in halfway through the first or something.
Yeah.
I had
that's our luck.
my Peyton Manning year in Denver when Peyton set all the fucking records. I had him as my fucking quarterback, and I was scoring at least 150 points every week. I had an astronomical points for lead in the league, and lost in the first round.
Yep.
That's an
I won
fact.
it
You
as
did
like a
not have
6th
Peyton
seed
Manning
last
that
year.
The year that I won it and you won it.
No, it was
because
the
of
next
my
year
trade.
that your dad took him.
Yeah, but I still got my ass kicked all year.
No,
I wasn't doing that great.
No, I had him that year. I wanted to get him the next year, and your dad drafted him, which worked out until my benefit.
Yeah, your dad drafted him and then sat him on the bench all year and refused to play.
Which is okay because he sat on the bench for half the year, and they started Brock Osweiler because Peyton couldn't throw the ball 25
Brock
yards.
and roll.
I wish we could find your Brock Osweiler fucking takes.
No, we don't need to find those. Those
future.
are well buried in the past.
Jace, can I say it? Brock and roll, baby. Okay.
Rock and roll, baby.
Continue.
Anyway, so
October's
that
over.
game was pretty amazing. Did you think that was kind of a preview of what the NFC Championship is going to be? Because in my mind, those were the 2 teams that I thought were going to be the NFC Championship.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be is those 2 teams. And I think and that's what you heard him talking about during the game is that Jimmy G had not had his signature moment yet.
Yeah.
And that final drive for the field goal to cap it off, that was the signature Jimmy G moment so far. And I think he's now they've got everything starting to work out a little bit better. They're figuring out their running back by committee, how to implement that to get their run game a little bit better. And that's just helping out that passing offense. And I think they're just going to continue to tick upward on offense. And that defense, while it wasn't a great defensive showing points-wise, if you watched it, a lot of their plays, when they try to slip something to Kamara out of the backfield, that would normally go for 15 yards, they're getting them in the backfield every time.
Yeah.
There were still certain aspects of the game they were doing really well on defense, just not as a whole.
Was there was a Richard Sherman injury in that? Did he come back or is
he was back in 3 plays later.
Okay. Because I remember him walking off limping or holding his arm or something. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, he
what
must
it was.
just taken like a helmet to the thigh or something
Stinger.
like that.
Yeah. So, can we just also mention like how amazing this turnaround from 1 year ago is for this Niners team?
I never saw it
Well,
coming.
1 year ago, you were looking at a team that had a quarterback still trying to find his way and then got hurt.
He was
Well,
So
broken.
then you were on to
yeah. 1
then you
year
were
ago,
on
you
to
had
the
Jimmy Garoppolo with a total and complete ACL, is what you
Yeah.
had.
yeah, he had the
Until
he
ACL
has a
injury,
knee.
and then you had like
had a
17
knee.
different quarterbacks playing. And the defense wasn't quite there yet. You had Nick Bosa, who is not only looking like he is probably going to pick up the defensive rookie of the year, he's also now up to the third best or the third highest
Pass
ranking
rush
in
rating?
the defensive player of the year total.
Oh.
His odds for getting that, he's in third spot right now for the whole league
Who
in defensive
is
player of the year.
who is first and second?
Stephon Gilmore is first, and Aaron Donald is second.
Of course,
Imagine
Donald
that.
is.
But Bosa's third, T.J. Watt is fourth, and Shaquille Barrett is fifth.
Because
Sad.
Barrett was leading in sacks for so long. He may still be, but I don't know.
I don't think he is.
I don't think so. So, on that note, I think we're just going to go right into doing our picks and then hit you up with our power rankings. Kind of have a shorter episode this week. And then
We do have a
will-
quick Jace Junk rant,
We're
I think, for
sleeping.
the
Yeah.
audience
I want to
here.
hear this rant.
I
with
do
Jason.
too.
So, like,
All right,
you've
I'm
got
gonna
me
get into this.
intrigued.
Let me break into it real fast, and people are gonna quote
Oh,
me on this.
did you write it down? Did you
No,
prepare
I'm
a
just gonna
speech?
pop the hit, but I think in the draft this year, I think the Raiders seriously need to look into the quarterback position. I think Derek Carr is going to end up. It's going to burn my ass. He's going to be a great quarterback somewhere, but I can't figure out. Ever since he broke his leg in 2016, he has not been the same player. He looks scared in the pocket. He sits back. Yeah, fuck you, Andy. I know. I don't want to admit it either, because after the years, all the years of Jamarcus and all the years of, the Aaron Brookses and the Dante Culpeppers, I could fucking get Rick Meyer. I could go on for years. Maui Tuiasosopo, if we really want to dig into the fucking ball. We clung on to him, and I really think he was the answer until he had that significant leg injury. Now I think he's scared.
He's going to be a Chicago Bear.
He can't throw a deep ball anymore. He can't hit anybody. If there's anybody 30 yards downfield, if they're not covered, he can hit them. If there's nobody around him, bam, he's got him.
He doesn't
Andy
have
Dalton.
anticipation.
If there's a
He doesn't have
defender
touch.
literally within touching distance of him, that he can't hit a receiver. He's just, even with a good offensive line, he's scared, and he just.
Well, do you think that Derek Carr's now moved into the position that Andy Dalton held for so many years of being that line between good quarterbacks and bad quarterbacks?
I don't understand, because Carr was fucking, like, he was MVP form in 2016. But when you watched him, and I watched it, trust me, I watched it a million times when he broke his leg, and he has not been the same since. Like, he's got like happy feet in the pocket. And this is one thing I will say. My own father, Jeff Junk, the last two games, I finally started to sound the bell on Carr, and he's like, yeah, I don't see it. I think he's done. No matter how much protection he has, he's scared, and it really does not matter how far downfield the receiver is. It matters how much pressure they have on them. And I don't know what it is. He's mentally beaten down, and I'm mentally beaten down as a Raider fan, and I just want a fucking answer sometime soon. But I don't think Derek Carr is
Do you think it's so much of Derek Carr? Or do you think it's the match of Derek Carr and Gruden doesn't go well together?
Well, I mean, the stats line up. Carr's had statistically one of his best years this year. I mean, you look at he's one of the league leaders in completion percentage, interceptions, everything like that. He's having a great year, but he's
not showing it on paper.
Yeah, he carried that team in 2016. Like every time he threw the ball deep, I remember that year. I never had a doubt. Like it was like that ball, Mari Cooper and Crabtree running down the sidelines. Like he was going to find a way somehow, or pass interference or something.
That year was still, I think, Amari Cooper's best year.
Yeah, it was insane. That was the best Raider offense I can remember since the Rich Gannon years.
Hell yeah.
The Cardiac Kids.
Rich and roll.
The big question that I have in all of this, though, is if you were to call Tom Coughlin today, would he rather have Derek Carr or Gardner Minshew?
Or Eli Manning?
Derek Carr.
He would totally want Derek Carr over Gardner.
I don't know.
And I hate to say it because that's the Jags are one of those teams where if they had somebody who could be a decent game manager and just hold the defense along, they'd be okay.
They need an offensive line.
As soon as it happens, I don't want to predict it, but I think Carr is gone after this year. That's my bold prediction. Well, here's the reason I say that is because they gave him that big contract, but they can move on after this year and have no dead cap space whatsoever.
Shot in the dark, where's he go?
Jags.
Buccaneers.
Or
the Bears.
Right.
Buccaneers or the Bears.
Well, now that you're done, I'll tell you why you're wrong. And first off, that wasn't a rant because you didn't get mad once. You got to get fucking mad in a rant.
This is a depressed rant.
Rant correctly or don't rant.
It's not all the rage sports. It's all the cutter sports.
In a rant, it has to be angry. You got to get
like
all the emo sports.
All the emo
for so many years. I've gotten my hopes up, and you guys know for a fact I've talked these shit teams up, and I'm like, this is the year. We're going to be great. And then you watch me just be reduced to a puddle of nothing. And this team is taking everything it can from me. I have nothing left. I'm
just throwing it all out in the lawn.
Just taking 20-some years in a marriage out of my life.
Well, it's one of those things. As soon as we get to the point, like Derek Carr gave me a little bit of guidance because I was like, every year I'm like, okay, we don't have an offensive line, we don't have a defensive line, we don't have corners, we don't have a running back, nothing. We got a quarterback, we're good. And now it's like we got a good offensive line.
You have a running back,
it's really good. Waller and Williams are good, and now it's like, fuck. What do we do with quarterback?
Well, now I'll tell you why you're wrong. Because this last game against the Tennessee Titans, Derek Carr actually had a good game. And I can't remember the stat. I think it was 297 yards with 2 touchdowns. And I think he had a 70% completion percentage. He had a good game. This Josh Jacobs was not in the game. And that's a big difference. Their offensive line has been good, but not one of the top offensive lines in the leagues. They've been really good running the football. Their defense is where they're starting to fall off.
Watch Derek Carr against the Chiefs.
They allowed 42 fucking points from the goddamn Titans, and that's going to be hard to keep up with.
There was a 91-yard touchdown from Ryan Tannehill to start the second half. Yeah. And I will agree with Kevin. Jacobs not being in there does make a big difference.
Yeah. And any team, regardless, if you're missing a big part, like if you're missing a big player like a Josh Jacobs and you give up 42 points, you're not going to be able to win that game. I don't care who you have at quarterback. If you miss one of the biggest components of your offense,
Josh Jacobs,
you're going to lose.
That's what you saw with the Jaguars, and I'm not comparing Carr to Blake Bortles in any way, shape, or form, but they would win the game very handily when they got Fournette rolling, and when they did not get Fournette rolling, they lost the games. That's how it was. And then, like I said, I'm not comparing.
That's how it was this
Carr
week
to Bortles, but that's
the Jaguars.
How it is with that offense, and maybe that's a Gruden style too. But I don't know. I'm not giving up hope on Gruden yet, but I can actually see the points and agree. and agree. I think honestly,
Gruden's hardcore. He's
it's
straight
more
laced.
of your defense than it is your quarterback.
Yeah,
So I don't
and
want you to give up on him.
I think
yet,
you're getting
but
a little bit of Steelers thing going there, and some of what you hear from Steelers fans, like you heard from Jesse after Week 1 this year, where this team is terrible. I'm tired of Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin needs to go, and then Mike Tomlin goes ahead and puts together what is very possibly a Coach of the Year type year,
I
taking
disagree.
this team
I
to
disagree
8-5.
100%. Like I watched him like when they drafted him as a rookie with Khalil Mack. God, I miss Khalil Mack. When they drafted him and they went, okay, we're going to start him throughout his rookie year. Like I have watched him progress.
I just figured it out.
2016, if he had not broken his leg, like he would have continued to just be an excellent quarterback. Like Jack Del Rio would still have a job.
well, I mean,
I figured it out,
too.
Chase. And you know what happened? You know what has happened? You missed a couple weeks. You dipped out early a week, and in those weeks, you did not say, I'm going to go ahead and do my weekly Khalil Mack. I miss you. Please come back. You haven't done that, and then the Raiders have fallen off. It's your fault.
It's true.
You fuck.
It is. It's entirely
Because
every Raider player watches all the Raider Sports podcasts.
Yeah,
and Bears player, because that's what Khalil Mack is now, because he's not a Raider anymore.
Khalil Mack's the only person that watches our podcast.
Well, I mean, did you guys have Wendell Smallwood to run for you, or what? Because like that.
Yeah, if you guys could have picked up Wendell Smallwood,
Captain Munnerlin.
He's just
Colt
so good.
McCoy.
The Redskins can't sign some high school kid to a roster spot.
There you go. You guys need to go ahead and add Colt McCoy to your quarterback room.
Colt McCoy.
But one other thing I will disagree with you on real quick here too, Jace, is you said that if they got a game manager, the Jacksonville Jaguars would be viable by being able to help out their defense. Their offensive line is ridiculously bad right now. Leonard Fournette only managed 50 yards in Sunday's game. Gardner Minshew had 37 on his own running the football, so he was 13 yards away from totaling Fournette's yardage.
Jesse, let's move on to our picks.
Power rankings.
Kevin gets into the Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, I would like to get the fuck out of this topic. All right,
move.
let's get into our picks here.
God.
Let's move that over there. All right. Excuse me. All right, so we have the Jets at the Ravens tomorrow happening. I really don't know that I have to ask you guys this one.
Nope.
Everybody's going with the Ravens.
My ass is sleeping.
If they start RG3.
Ravens for everybody on that. I think that's pretty universal.
Jets win.
And then, the Jets will win. I swear to God, if the Jets win that game, I'll shit my pants. I will shit.
On purpose?
On purpose.
Jesse, if the Jets...
On the purpose.
I want this on the record right now. If
the
Jets win that game, you have to shit your pants on the podcast.
On
the podcast and sit in it the entire fucking game.
Oh, man. Fuck. That's awesome.
Bilbo's going to love that one.
Sam Darnold's going for 505.
Bilbo's going to be rooting against his team. Against the Ravens.
They got the division pretty much. They got the division on lock, so they can go ahead and
he's gonna root for fucking Jets that game just to make it so I have to sit in my poopy pants.
The question is, do you get to do that in a diaper? Are you allowed to go buy a diaper to do that?
No.
Well, it depends.
CJ,
now you can't.
Does this in his work clothes. He can't go ruining a good pair of work pants.
Fuck yeah. You ruined my good Van Heusen.
You don't really like.
Your Dockers aren't going to fucking whip that shit off.
Would you rather change into something you don't like, or would you rather deal with all of us going, and here's our host with an adult diaper on?
Yeah.
I'll
stand up and show everybody.
I'll wear the Metcalf Binky mouth guard. No shirt and just a big diaper.
Okay. That would be okay.
Put it on the
Dude, I'll put a banner at the bottom.
Put it on the internet.
All right, so the Seahawks at the Panthers. Another one I don't know that I have to ask, but the Seahawks will win that game.
Seahawks.
Seahawks, and real quick, if the Jets win next week, I'll bet you our viewership goes way up.
Yeah.
Well, no, because somebody would have had to have watched this to know that
Well, this
Jimmy's gonna
guy-
have to sit in
This
his
guy
good
has to
pants.
shit his pants
Well, no,
on the air.
it's one of those things. If Bill Burke,
Of course,
and
I could put it up on
Uncle Lonnie
Facebook.
share it on Facebook and go, "Hey, if you watch this next Wednesday, my nephew's gonna have to shit his pants live." Maybe somebody will watch it.
Oh, good times. Well, the Patriots were recording all of the Bengals plays. So you think the Patriots will win?
God, I
Because I
hope.
think so.
I think if they spent a single minute watching any of the Bengals plays, they might lose.
I agree.
Yeah, they're definitely going to win
Trick
this game.
themselves.
I don't think any of us have a pick that's different as of yet. It's pretty handed. I don't know. Very
Once
weird
it gets
first-
towards-
These are all lost.
Once it gets towards the end, it's going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah. So Bucks at the Lions is the next one, and the Bucks are a Mike Evans-less team right now, which sucks for anybody who had them on their fantasy team all year. That's pretty shitty.
That's Homer has him.
Uh,
I fucking parted ways with him way too early. But anyhow, keep going.
So I have a difficult time saying no to the Bucks on this one because I don't think the Lions offense can compete. So I am definitely going with the Buccaneers on this one. Jace, who do you have?
I'm going to take the Buccaneers, and just a real quick fun fact: Jameis Winston could be the first player in NFL history to lead the league in touchdowns, interceptions, and yards.
Yep. I just
Kevin.
saw that earlier.
I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right. And then Andy.
Box for Cox.
Whoa, man. Whoa.
Jameis Winston is a quarterback in the NFL.
Jameis Winston is a quarterback in the NFL, and that's why
A
he's
very,
Crab leg.
very interesting matchup Sunday at 1:00. The Bears at the Packers. Now, a few weeks ago, we never would have thought this game held anything, but now this game kind of means a little bit of something. Bears have a very, very off chance of making the playoffs, but this is kind of a weird dynamic game. I think it will be the Packers. I don't really like betting against the Packers when they're at home. But I think it will be a very interesting game. Jace, who you got in this one?
It's a game that means something, so that's why you can immediately count Mitch Trubisky out of it. Packers by a mile.
Kevin.
I'm going to have to go with the Pack.
All right, Andy.
the cheese.
Thought you were saying the Chiefs. I'm like, wrong game. Broncos at the Chiefs. The Broncos have put on a late season resurgence as well. Not really going to be able to do anything with it, but it's fun, I guess. They can ruin a lot of people's hopes and dreams. I think the Chiefs still win it, but I think, once again, this one's going to be a very interesting game. Jace.
I think it kind of scares me a little bit because now the Chargers will draft somebody once Phillip Rivers goes away. I got Pat Mahomes. Drew Lock might be the real deal. Small sample size, but
You picked him up this week.
well, that's because I don't have a quarterback, and I am doing our fantasy classic 8 seed ride the waiver wire, win the whole goddamn thing. So I am adhering to tradition. But I'm actually in Arrowhead. I'm going to take the Chiefs, but I think it's going to be a very, very good game.
Yep. Andy.
I'm going to take the Kevin was first.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
because
Kevin.
Jace, me, Andy.
Sorry.
Don't even pay me, and you fucking let Andy go first. God damn it! I'll take
Yeah, I
the
got a
Chiefs.
dog.
Andy, go first.
$1.67 this week, boys.
Andy, you going with the Chiefs as well?
No, actually, I'm going to go with the Denver Football Broncos.
Interesting. Broncos
Oh.
it is. Dolphins
Where's Mike
at
Vick
the-
when you need him?
Yeah, right.
There's my lone wolves down there. Lone wolf.
Quit dogging us around there, Kevin. The Dolphins at the
Kill
Giants.
yourself. Knife to the jugular. Just get it over with.
Dolphins 3-10 at the 2-11 Giants. I got to go with the Dolphins on this. I still believe in Fitzmagic. Jace.
Fuck you. Let's go, Eli.
Kevin.
When it's Pat Shurmur against anybody, I'm going to go ahead and go with anybody.
And then Andy.
Eli's on the fucking comeback trail. Circle the wagons. The old mediocre wagons.
Yeah, he probably uses a wagon to get around because he's that old.
Eliminated from the playoffs.
Bill, this is the Sunday night game. I don't know why it's listing that before everything else. Weird. Okay, Bills at the Steelers. I have to go with the Steelers on this. I think that they hold their destiny in their palm. They're going to come in prepared. They're starting to open up for Hodges. I think the Steelers can take the Bills' defense. Jace.
Jace is feverishly hitting the bias button currently.
And then watching
You're
go with the Steelers.
Idiot. Although I do think this defense poses a challenge against Josh Allen, I think the Bills' defense is also good enough to keep Mr. Kevin, get the duck out. Get him out right now. Right this minute.
Come on now, damn it.
It's going to sound way, way less cheerful than that on Sunday.
Was that cheerful? Was that duck talk for like cheerful?
As cheerful as a duck can be, I guess. I don't know.
Kevin.
It's got a bad connection. I'm going to go with the Bills and hope for the best.
Okay. Andy.
I'm actually going to go with the Steelers.
Idiot.
I was going to take the Bills.
I hope I lose
Kevin
that
said
game.
it.
I hope I lose that game.
All right. Texans at the Titans. I think I'm going to go with something I normally don't do and go with the Titans. Jace.
You fuckstick.
You always go with the Texans. You have like fucking
I know.
tainted love with them.
Well,
I have a
as you've
love
seen, there
for DeAndre Hopkins.
They're as
Yeah.
bipolar as my parents' love for me growing up. So,
Oh, yeah.
I got to go
Wow.
with Titans.
The life of a ginger kid.
All right. Kevin.
I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans in this one.
All right. And Andy.
Me as well.
Wow. Everybody goes Titans on that one. Eagles at the Redskins. I think the Eagles are in a must-win situation. I think that they are slowly getting better each week, and they have a very good possibility to take that division. So I am sticking with the Eagles. Jace.
Taking the Redskins.
Ooh, that'll pretty much knock the Eagles out unless the Cowboys lose, which also is a very good possibility.
That's exactly why I'm taking the Redskins.
Kevin.
Redskins.
Wow. Another Redskinner and Andy.
Eagles.
Thank you. All right. Browns at the Cardinals. We just watched the Steelers thomp on the Cardinals. Well, I wouldn't say thomp, but beat the Cardinals. Do we think that Baker and company can do the same? I actually do. So Browns it is for that one. Jace.
You fucking asshole. Why'd you guys take the Browns? I'm going to take the Browns as well.
All right. Kevin.
Arizona.
Ooh, Cards. Andy.
Browns. Dog pound.
All right. Jags at the Raiders. I think Raiders get a little rebirth here and take the Raiders down or take the Jaguars down. I'm going to go with the Raiders in this one. Jace.
Last game in Oakland, we should absolutely win this one, so I'm going to take the Jaguars.
I already had it typed up too, you jag-off. Kevin.
I'm going to go with the Jaguars as well.
You should have to go with the Raiders.
Andy.
Last
You're
game
only
in
going with the Jags
Oakland.
'cause of Minshew.
I'm going to take the Raiders at home for their farewell tour.
I like it. Rams at the Cowboys. Yeah, the Rams are totally gonna fucking beat the Cowboys.
So
Cowboys are
wait,
garbage.
I'll wait until after the podcast to ask you, Jace.
Jace,
Are you good?
Cowboys.
Jace, you're going Cowboys?
I gotta do something. Fucking.
You got to take all of Jason's pick with a grain of salt because he's just trying to make up space. Kevin.
Don't bet on Jason's picks right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Rams.
Until all these hit one of these weeks, and we're like, how much money would we have won?
Yeah.
Andy.
Rams. I forgot what we were talking about for a second.
Falcons at the Niners. I don't know that I have to ask.
No.
Either.
Don't.
Yep. And then Vikings at the Chargers. I'm going to take the Vikings on that one. What do you got for me, Jace?
How well do Minnesota Vikings fans travel? I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Yeah, they have a 3-4 record on the road this season. So, but it is the Chargers. Vikings, it is for Jace. Kevin.
I think there'll be more Packers fans than Chargers fans in attendance to boo the Vikings this week. But the Vikings will still win.
All right, Andy.
Because I think Kirk Cousins is going to be the new Phillip Rivers here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Going to start popping out kids like crazy.
Except he's a lot
short
nicer.
of a great quarterback.
Friggin' Cousins is fucking the Mr. Rogers of
the NFL.
He's the Ned Flanders. He's Ned Flanders.
He's very Ned Flandery.
Heidi ho, neighborinos.
Colts at the Saints. Saints need a little bit of a rebound after a hard-fought game against the Niners. Colts probably are the team to give it to him. So
Colts McCord.
Jace.
Did you just take the Colts?
No, I said Saints.
Okay, I had to admit, I totally misheard that. I was like, that is the
No,
biggest...
Andy's over there yelling Colt McCord again.
Whatever. Literally the second I heard that, I went, okay, I just gained the game on Jesse. I'm so happy. But I'll take the Saints.
Kevin.
Saints.
All right, and then Andy.
Saints. But it's close. Will Lutz kicks a last-second field goal.
Will Lutz.
Lutz. Fuck you.
All right, I'm just going to briefly go through our power rankings, and I'll post them up because I'm about to fall asleep.
Me too.
So we'll quickly go through this. I have my top 5: Ravens, Niners, Seahawks, Saints, and Packers. And then I go Chiefs, Patriots, Vikings, Steelers have moved up to 9. Yes, Uncle Lonnie, they've moved up to 9. And
Bias
Rams
button
at 10. Titans at 11, Bills 12, Texans at 13, Eagles I have at 14, and the Bears I have posted at 15. Jace, do you want to go through yours?
Yes.
Real fast, I got Ravens, Niners, Sea Chickens, Saints, Packers, Patriots, Chiefs, Bills, Vikings, Titans, Texans, Rams, Steelers, Browns, Cowboys.
Very nice. Browns are still on your list, which I still find surprising.
They have a higher chance. The Raiders have exactly 1% chance of making the playoffs right now, but the Browns will make it before the Raiders do. So,
well, the Titans will make it before either of them does. So,
exactly.
Kevin.
I have the Ravens, 49ers, Saints, Packers, and Vikings in my top 5. The Seahawks drop down to 6. I have the Titans up to 7. Chiefs at 8. Bills at 9. I have the Steelers at 10. Go ahead, Jace. I have the Rams at 11. Patriots 12. Texans 13. Colts still at 14. And the Raiders at 15.
Colt McCord.
Nah, I won't bias button you.
And Andy, do you want to go ahead and read yours off?
I will. I have the Ravens, the Niners, Packers, Seahawks, the Kansas City Football Chiefs, the Vikings, Saints, Pats, Titans, Bills, Steelers, Rams, Texans, Eagles, and the Bears.
And the Bears. All right, here's what AP Pro has it at. They have the Saints, Niners, Ravens, Niners, Saints. They have the Seahawks and Kansas City both tied for fourth. Packers at 6, Patriots at 7, dropping 2 spots. Vikings have moved up to 8 in front of the Bills, who are at 9. The Rams are at 10. The Texans are at 11, dropping 3 spots. Titans are at 12, dropping a spot, even though they won. Steelers have not moved. They're stayed steady at 13. Bears went to 14, and the Cowboys dropped a spot to 15, with Eagles just slightly behind them, where they gained 2 spots. So right now, after this week, I think that the Eagles will be leading that division, and you'll see the Eagles up in that 15 spot. Actually, probably the 14 spot.
Or they both lose to stay in their same spots.
Yeah, and they move.
The hell was that noise?
They don't move.
Yeah, it was like.
All right. Well, before we sign off, I did have a couple things that I wanted to hit on real quick here.
Oh fuck!
I looked up the.
Son of a bitch.
None of it's Gardner Minshew. None of it's Gardner Minshew or a duck with a golden jacket. I looked up the odds right now on our defensive player of the year, defensive rookie of the year. Wasn't able to find offensive player of the year. But for defensive rookie of the year right now, the lead is Nick Bosa, Devin Bush, and Brian Burns are tied at, or Devin Bush and Josh Allen are tied in second behind him. Right now, Stephon Gilmore leads defensive player of the year with Aaron Donald behind him. Bosa has actually made an appearance here over the last few weeks. He's up to third with our boy TJ Watt at fourth. Offensive rookie of the year, Josh Jacobs.
Boy. He ain't my boy.
Josh Jacobs is leading the offensive rookie of the year. Kyler Murray is second. I did lie. Gardner Minshew will be mentioned because he's third in offensive rookie of the year as far as the betting goes. DK Metcalf and Hollywood Brown follow him. And then for MVP, it's pretty simple. Lamar Jackson's got the best odds. He's at a minus 700 right now.
Jesus.
Plus 800 is Russell Wilson. Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes follow them.
If you bet $1, you'd win 7 cents.
Yeah.
Who put Hollywood Brown and DK Metcalf behind Gardner Minshew for?
Well, think about the offensive rookies. It's all been defensive rookies this year. There really isn't even a whole ton of offensive rookies that were drafted.
Yeah, I mean, when you get when you look at the separation and what they've done so far this year
in the first round is what I was meaning.
Oh, I was gonna say
in the first round.
If you look at the separation of who's done what this year, you look at Josh Jacobs at 1 and Hollywood Brown at 5. That's a big difference. Josh Jacobs is putting up big numbers for a rookie. Yeah. Hollywood Brown's doing okay. But then the last thing that I wanted to talk about was something that I heard about today. They were talking about Warrick Dunn today. And Warrick Dunn, former Buccaneers running back, Falcons running back, he's doing something really good for the community that I thought we should probably recognize. Since he has retired, he in conjunction with his foundation, have built 174 houses for single parents.
Gingerbread houses?
No, real houses. Fully furnished, fully stocked refrigerators. Fully houses with a fully stocked refrigerator. $5,000 cash given to each of these single-parent homes. 172 to single moms, 2 to single dads, and I think that's something that deserved to be recognized.
Damn.
Wow. Wait,
that is badass.
You said 172 to single moms and how many to dads?
2. You don't find that many single dads out there, you know.
Wow, that's sexist.
That is.
But
there's our defamation
and
of the week.
A lot of it's in the Atlanta area. but he does have it spread out throughout the country. But I just thought that was something that needed to be recognized.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
That is
agree.
pretty awesome.
Kudos to you, Mr.
Cole
Dunn.
Warwick Dunn, you're fucking killing it, brother.
You've
Keep
done it.
You've done it. Warwick
Here's a
Dunn.
thumbs up
Him and-
from the All the Rage
him and-
Sports.
Yeah.
And Algie Crumpler.
And fuck you, Jace.
Fuck you,
Algie.
Kevin. Algie.
Algie
There wasn't
Crumpler.
Crumpler.
There wasn't even any offensive rookies taken this year. What the fuck?
I apologize, Uncle Bill. I don't think we lived up to last week's podcast. Jace is just too defeated at this point to fight back.
And we're
I'm
all,
too
like,
tired to
sleeping
even
'cause it's
function
late.
right now.
I'm ready for
all right,
football
guys.
season.
I will probably be uploading this not
Tomorrow.
tonight. Probably
Yeah, do it
tomorrow.
tomorrow sometime. Fuck
But we will be uploaded that, and I'll
it.
post.
We
all
will
our-
be uploaded
We will
that.
be uploading that.
Uploaded that.
I will post all our weekly picks and our power rankings and our standings and our video and our podcast. As always, please go to our webpage, visit us there, comment on our Facebook. We want to hear from you. We will talk about any topics you want to bring up, and we will do it. And then always donate to our lovely PayPal.
Yeah, to keep me on here.
Yeah, keep
Andy on
Andy
the
coming.
cast.
Andy Stewart's appearance fee.
I'm going to do a very end of the show shout out to Brandon Slater and say sorry, but the Steelers will beat your Bills this week.
Yeah, fuck you, Brandon Slater, whoever the fuck you are.
Oh,
He's right.
pretty aggressive.
All right, guys. As always, I am your host, Jesse Baden, with my analysts here, Jace, Andy, and Kevin. Thank you all for joining us on All the Rage Sports Podcast. And as always, rage on.
Rock and roll.
Colt McCarr.